Hi, and thank you so much for watching. I'm Christiana on the Well-Behaved Wallet, and this is episode 2 of Change Your Life Using Goals and Appreciation. So if you're new, this series is dedicated to how I'm using the 12-week year to move my life forward. So the 12-week year is a book by Brian Moran, and it's basically a guide to shortening your execution cycle from 1 year, 12 months, down to 12 weeks. And it's sort of focused on annual or quarterly planning, 3 months instead of annualized planning. Basically saying that a year is too long, it's better to break your goals, achieving your goals, down into smaller sections. So that's the framework I'm using to kind of use this to move my life forward. So I'm doing an episode. My goal is to do an episode for the next episode a week for the next 12 weeks. This is the second time I've gone through this cycle, and I'm using the spreadsheet, and I'll link it below, to track how I'm doing. So this week, my homework for last week was to sit down and come up with 3 goals and I'll kind of explain the goals that I used last year, how I did, and then the goals that I'm using this year, this 12-week cycle. So my goals from last year, my first goal, and I'll tell you the new goal. My first goal was to achieve a healthy and stable weight of 139. And I realized this kind of is my whole strategy. My strategy last year was very specific in the goal. And that was good that I had some type of a strategy or goal in place, but it didn't really serve the broader sort of direction I was going for. And this goes into the homework that I did, because I was really thinking, what is a goal that I can aim for, and that would encompass all of the things I want to do. And it was tough for me to like nail down exactly what I was looking for. So I'll go again. I'll explain the goals that I did for year 1 and then the goals that I'm doing this year. So my goals for last year, year 1, were to achieve a healthy, stable weight of 139, to save at least $1,200, and to articulate my faith and beliefs. Pretty specific. And how I did, not so good on the goal weight of 139. That didn't happen. I'm 10 pounds off from that. Saving at least 1,200, I didn't. I only saved 500. And then articulate faith and belief, that just fell by the wayside completely. So I got maybe like I would say 40%, 50%. Not even less than 50%. And the thing with a 12-week year is it offers very specific ways to track your results, like actions you can do, 3 actions you can do, at least 3 actions you can do to move yourself closer to that goal. So this year, in my second go around, these are the goals that I'm shooting for. So rather than aiming for a specific goal weight, what I'm trying to do and what I'm aiming to do is to cultivate more love and appreciation in my life. And that includes love and appreciation for myself, first and foremost, for those around me, for the people around me, for the community at large. So that's number 1. And I have very specific tracking measures in place, and I'll go into a little bit more about that as well. So cultivate love and appreciation. My goals are, the tactics I'm using to achieve that goal is to every night write down at least 5 appreciations. And I say appreciation specifically rather than gratitude or thankfulness, because what you appreciate appreciates. So meaning if you recognize things that are valuable, they go up in value, is the theory. So specifically saying that. And then number 2 is kind of challenging. I am going to try throughout the week, at least once a week, to isolate beliefs that are not necessarily good, because you can't change your beliefs if you don't know what they are. So for me, that would be picking out things that I'm afraid of, like fears, and then really getting to the root of them. And that's like tough to do, but very simple to quantify, saying I'm afraid of XYZ, and these are reasons why I don't have to fear XYZ. So that's another thing that I'm doing to cultivate love and appreciation in my life. And I'm also going to set aside time to do that, and to declare to myself, this is another thing, to declare daily affirmations. And that's something that I've done my whole life, and they really worked. If you check out, I did a video on how I set affirmations to get a job in 31 days. This is so powerful, because declaring it out loud helps you actually believe it and convinces you, helps your subconscious mind get working, and actually convinces you of the truth of this. So this is something that I'm a huge believer in, and I will share more about that as well coming up. So declaring daily my love and appreciation affirmations. So that's goal 1. Goal 2, increase my personal financial abundance. This is it sounds a little bit more nebulous, but it's actually rather than looking at what I've saved and like quantifying it in that very narrow sort of track, I'm opening up generally to say financial abundance in general. Because if I looked at what I saved, not so great. But if I looked at my general financial picture in a whole, actually a little bit better. So these are, and I have it tracked in my 12-week year spreadsheet. Here are my goals to increase personal financial abundance, very similar to my goals for, or my tactics to increase my savings. Record all spending, enter all spending on my tracking sheet, have my budget meeting once a week. That's been fabulous. Like, I've really enjoyed doing that. I've done that straight through this year, and it's been very helpful just for me to see where I am. And the way I do that, I'll go into like my 4-step simple, quick budgeting process. I record my spending for the week. I look at what I'm projected to make for the next week. I look at my expenses for the next week, and then I look at my budget, my cash budget for the next week. So very, very simple. It takes maybe 45 minutes to plug everything into the spreadsheet and to go over spending and upcoming expenses. So I'm not surprised by anything. But that's been super helpful, and I want to continue doing that. And I give myself a little sticker in my planner, and I'm like not big on stickers, but that's the one thing I will get a sticker for, so I can like flip through my planner and be like, oh, I did my budget. Oh, I did my budget. So it's just a little thing that kind of helps encourage me. Transfer money to long-term savings. I'm going to continue to do that, even though I don't have a specific number goal. I'm just going to do it and kind of not set a ceiling on that. Just say I have this percentage that I'm aiming for every week. If I can do more, great. And if I have to kind of move stuff around, fine. Earn extra income. That's something that's always been kind of important, is that I work on continually improving my financial picture as a whole. And then also declaring my daily financial affirmations, financial and personal affirmations, because I'm working on going from someone who has had sort of a very narrow picture of money to expanding my whole views on money and abundance in general. So that's going to be the focus, in just increasing my entire financial picture, financial abundance on the whole. Goal 2. Goal 3 is develop a business that will support me, my life, and the people I love. So as you know, I've kind of talked about my side hustle with eBay a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun. Like, I just enjoy like hunting out great deals and then finding things that are maybe underappreciated, and then finding them new homes where they can be even more appreciated. So that's my strategy with eBay, and it's great and I enjoy it, but it's very labor intense, and I don't really think that it's necessarily sustainable long-term for the growth that I'm looking for. So my goal is to find a different business strategy that will kind of support me in more of the life I want to live. So these are my goals, or my tactics to achieve that. And they're very specific and measurable. Devote at least an hour a week to brainstorming, planning, executing, and measuring my business goals. Capture business ideas and thoughts throughout the day, like in a little jot down notebook. Number 3, care for the items in my home and office. And this is important because I feel like, for me at least, the outside reflects the inside. And I've just noticed that in my life so much, that if my inside is ordered and kind of calm and clear, then it's kind of it reflects that I'll start to take better care of the outside and be better able to arrange the outside in a calm, ordered and clear manner. So really setting aside time each day to continually care for the space around me, because everything is always changing, and that includes your external space. And there's a certain amount of like weekly, daily upkeep that goes into keeping that space clean and clutter-free. So that's directly related to my goal of developing a business that will support my life. And number 4, connect with other business people at my level and much higher. So looking for mentors in a mastermind group. I was part of a mastermind group last year, and I loved it, but we all kind of like started going in different directions, which is fine. People grow apart, but I'm really looking for a group of people to connect with. So that's on my list. And number 5, yes, is connect with, read, watch, and listen to material to help inspire my business strategy and goals. So that includes YouTube, podcasts, books. I took out from the library Ray Dalio's Principles book, and I loved it. But it was just like, it's huge, and it's like something that you would buy and like keep on your desk and like read kind of every day. Like, you never finish reading it, kind of thing. So those are my 5 tactics to achieve goal 3, developing a business that will support me, my life, and the people that I love. So I'm really proud of myself for sitting down and thinking about these goals. And the reason I'm sharing all this is because if I can do it, I feel like anyone can do it. And hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. And this is like of how to develop your own 12-week year strategy, or just to move your life forward using specific goals. So my process for getting to these goals was I took myself to Barnes & Noble Cafe yesterday, Friday night, and I sat down and I was like, okay, you're not getting up from this seat until you have 3 goals in place. And I sat there and really with a notebook and a pencil, and honestly just giving myself that block of, I only took 45 minutes, block of uninterrupted time to sit down with a pencil and a paper and think about it was invaluable. I could not have paid for that. That was the most powerful thing probably I did all week. I don't know, all month. So that was really super helpful, and that's kind of what I'm putting into this video. So I'll write out the 3 goals so you can just see them and don't have to listen to me ramble, whatever. But so that was my feedback on my assignment from last week, or my report, my assignment from last week. And my homework for next week is to specifically, I'd love to share with you some of the affirmations that I say and some of the appreciations that I recorded, and maybe I'm going to say some of the ideas, because that's still in a very germinating, beta stage. But I would love to also maybe share some of the material that I'm consuming as part of my achieving goal number 3, developing a business that will support me. So thank you so much for listening, for watching, if you've gotten this far. I hope this has been helpful. If you can think of anything else you would like me to share or like me to add to my list of weekly assignments, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. I am super excited to report back next week. And again, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed and you'd like to get notifications of when these videos go up, please hit the subscribe button. And once again, thank you so much for being along on the journey. Bye.